All right guys, so I've gone ahead and removed the fuel injector rail with fuel injectors intact. It's the only way to do it. We actually already have this little spring clip to hold the injector in place and locate it. We'll show you how to do that here in a second, but I've actually already gone and installed the new injector here. It's this one here. This is the number 6 injector. Old one is here. Tip looks super burnt and clogged up. Way worse than the other ones did. So this thing was definitely dribbling and causing a lot of extra fuel to be burnt, causing a misfire. Here's the part number real quick, OPB128615C for the fuel injector for this car. There's also a O-ring that's associated with it, PAF006121. You're gonna want one of those. But let's go over here to the car and take a quick look at what we've done. So the charge pipe has come off, the inlet's come out. I pulled out the first 2 coil packs just to gain a little extra room to get the connectors for the injectors. These are the injector connectors. I've also pulled this oil pressure feed line off, and it's hard to see, but the motor mount is also out. I've dropped the motor down and it's sitting on a pole stand here, just slightly on the passenger side to get this passenger side fuel rail out. That's what it looks like without the fuel rail in. The injectors slide into these bores, and there's a fuel line here. It's pretty simple. Maybe took me 30 minutes or so to get here. Pulling the inner fender out, pulling the inlet off, coil packs, that 17 mil nut for the fuel line. There's also 3 13 mil screws, bolts that look like this, that hold the fuel rail to the cylinder head, and a 19 millimeter bolt that's kind of just chilling in here, which I can pull out, that holds the motor mount, or the motor in place, essentially. And that's just enough with this E10 Torx on the oil pressure line, just enough to squeak this fuel rail by. You kind of got to pull the oil feed line out of the way. But once we've done that, come over here, pop your little clips off, which make sure to notate which the orientation is. It sits in the car like this, and they kind of point downward at a slight angle to the right for at least the passenger side. So make sure to notate the angle of that. And the injector connector, because that will need to go back in the same way for everything to line up correctly. But yeah, overall, pretty straightforward. If you've ever done direct injectors on like a BMW or an Audi or whatever, it's very similar. Nonetheless, the only difference is this is a flat 6. So we're gonna go ahead, wipe all these parts down real quick and reinstall them in the car, torque everything, and get this thing running again, hopefully without any misfire. So let's go ahead and get that done. All right guys, so we've gone ahead and gotten our fuel rail reinstalled by pulling this up out of the way and just kind of feeding in the backside first and then slipping it into the holes. Now we're gonna go ahead and put our bolts in. I'm gonna start with this back one, that's hardest to get. Move the oil line out of the way, put that one in. I'm gonna go ahead and put in the other 2 bolts, super straightforward, slide them in. Make sure they grab the threads correctly. Go ahead and get this middle one in. Oil line's gotta come out of the way. And then when we torque these, we're gonna kind of want to go in a crisscross pattern, starting in the center and then outside, outside, back to center, outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, make sure they're all threading right now, and then I'm gonna go ahead and bring them down.
If you like this video, be sure to check out the next one, and if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks and see you in the next one.